Welcome back to Vegucation. Today we are talking about some sugar.
What's another sugar song? Oh, I know. Sugar. No, it's Treasure. Never mind. I don't know any other sugar songs.
I think we're done singing.
Okay.
We're going to leave that up to people who are better. And yeah, we're going to talk about sugar.
Okay, but we won't sing about it?
No.
All right.
So if you had to think, when you're going throughout your day-to-day happenings, where do you think you get the most sugar? You have an idea?
I think it depends on what your diet is, but I will say I feel like maybe a lot of people don't know that there's a lot more sugar in beverages sometimes than in your food.
Yes. And that's one thing, even this morning, right? What did you have for a beverage?
What did I have for a beverage? Oh, I had a latte.
Yeah, vanilla latte, right?
Yeah, I did.
Definitely sugar.
Yeah.
And I chose to have what?
Hazelnut coffee with nothing in it.
Black. Yes, because if I'm going to drink my calories, folks, it's going to be alcohol.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Maybe a vegan milkshake.
Every once in a while.
Yes.
Or a smoothie.
Or a smoothie. Yes. There's nutrients in a smoothie.
True.
Yes.
Not so much in a milkshake.
Definitely not.
Probably not in that hazelnut latte.
So your latte would be one of the first things that I would look at. And, a lot of people would go, okay, well, I do the sugar-free syrup.
Is that a lie?
Is that better?
Is sugar-free really sugar by another name? Like a rose by another name smells as sweet?
Well, let me ask you this. How many different names for sugar do you think there are?
Sugar, Splenda, Equal, sorbitol. That's not right, but there's a name that's very similar. Raw sugar.
I didn't ask you to name them. Can you give me a number?
I'm going to go with 10.
Yeah. So that would be great, actually. That would narrow some things down. 56 is the actual.
Oh, there's 56 different names for sugar?
Different names for sugar.
Are we going to name all 56
We're
of them?
not going to name all 56, but we're going to go through a few.
Okay.
For sure. So we've got the ones Coach Leia likes.
Okay.
Blackstrap molasses. Very, very good for you. Very good for women who may have trouble absorbing iron, such as Rochelle.
So wait, blackstrap molasses, is that a type of sugar or is that something that's high in sugar but the good sugar?
Correct. That's molasses, which is going to be coming.
Sugar.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But, it's a natural form of sugar.
Is it sweet?
I would say kind of. It also kind of tastes like black licorice for some. But some people love molasses cookies.
Okay.
Let's see, another one that I like, coconut sugar. Why? It's going to be lower on the glycemic index. When we're talking about the glycemic index, why you care about that is because we don't want to go up and then come straight back down.
Okay.
If you only go up a little bit, you don't have to come back down.
Glycemic is how high the sugar...
Blood sugar raises.
Blood sugar, okay.
Yep.
And what does that do when your blood sugar raises? Like, is it...
It's just hard on your body.
Okay.
Yeah. So your liver has to work harder.
Gotcha.
Date sugar, again, I don't want it to be a sugar, but sugar coming from dates.
Not too bad.
Yes, I'm all about it.
Could just use the date itself. I love that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yes.
Gotcha.
Dates. Honey. Honey is one that a lot of people use. Do I use honey myself? No, I do not. But if you can get
bees, it's not technically vegan.
Not technically vegan, but if you could get local honey from a beekeeper that you know is really good to their bees, absolutely, it can be great for you. Maple syrup's probably my favorite, organic maple syrup.
Really?
I use that often.
So when you talk about different sugars, there obviously are some that you would use like in the traditional sense, like to sweeten your coffee or your tea, but would you use maple syrup as a sweetener for, like what would you use it for other than like a pancake?
Cooking, any sort of cooking.
Okay, so as a replacement, like maybe in baking for sugar?
Yep.
Okay.
Either that or I normally use, like I said, coconut sugar is a great one too.
Okay.
As far as any of the other ones, we have some new ones, monk fruit. That's going to be, to me, I just think it tastes absolutely terrible. I'm sorry for all of you people who love monk fruit. I think it tastes like garbage. It does not raise your blood sugar, but again, what keeps, the problem when we take in let's call them fake sugar, right? So let's talk about if you're drinking a Diet Coke. So let's say you were drinking 6 Diet Cokes a day when you came to work with me. And
I
then
would never, but
Thank
for
you.
hypothetical sake. yes.
hypothetical. And then you give up your Diet Cokes and you lose 20 pounds. Why?
Well, I want to say because I'm not drinking as much sugar, but I feel like it's a trap, and that's wrong.
Well, there's no sugar in Diet Coke.
But it's fake sugar.
Correct. So the studies that have been done, recent studies that have been done, show that if you take in a fake sugar or a sugar that isn't going to increase your blood sugar, your body also doesn't know what to do with it. So what it does is it causes additional sugar cravings throughout the day, and you tend to eat more.
So basically, all the Diet Cokes that I was hypothetically drinking made me crave those brownies and cupcakes and ice cream and candy
Yes.
bars. And when I stopped the Cokes, I probably scaled back on that other stuff, and that's where the 20 pounds
Absolutely.
came from.
Yes. So, there's different sugars that have glucose. So we're going to go over a couple of those. So barley malt, that's going to be one that you're going to see. Brown rice syrup, that's another one. Corn syrup,
Okay.
that's another one.
And these are bad sugars.
I don't like to label anything bad. Remember, there are no bad things. There are things that I would prefer not to be in food. These would be on that list.
So stuff that is Coach Leia approved and stuff that is not. These are not Coach Leia
Yeah,
approved.
I do not love these. High fructose corn syrup, another really, really big one that's found in soda, cookies, breads, candy, cake, ice cream, cereal bars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's in everything.
and it's highly addicting
Mm-hmm.
and not good for you.
Did we, do you remember when we did the program at Green Fair?
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about babies?
Yes.
And if you put just dab your finger into sugar and tap the baby's tongue, and you're not familiar with the baby's not familiar with you, and you leave and you come back, the baby will find you over a parent because that's how addictive the sugar
Absolutely.
is.
Yes.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah, and so when you talk about all these different chemicals and sugars and all these things made in labs, and then people are eating these foods on a regular basis, we don't stand a fighting chance. So if you are out there and you are struggling from food addiction, because it's a very real thing,
Yeah.
I just want to challenge you to really look at what we talk about, which is if you can't pronounce it in your food, if it's not coconut sugar, maple syrup, molasses, try taking it out. See how you start to feel. See if you still have the same cravings that you had before.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, and it's really scary because so many people, they might look at someone who's overweight and that person may be eating 800 calories a day, but they're not eating actual food.
Yeah.
They're
just
not
all
eating any real
chemicals.
food. It's all chemicals. So there's a lot of things on the market. Even agave nectar, again, it's going to have 70 to 90% fructose and 10 to 30% glucose.
So, I'm a little embarrassed to say this. I thought agave was a fruit. Are you telling
Agave
me it's
nectar,
not?
but again, right, just because something's a fruit doesn't mean it's going to fall low on the glycemic,
Okay.
right? So we're talking about fruits that have a lot of sugar. Pineapple, delicious, right? Bananas, especially really ripe ones.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Grapes.
Grapes, delicious, but all very high in the glycemic index.
Okay.
So apples, berries, blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, pears, those are all going to be lower on the glycemic index.
How about a kiwi?
Kiwis kind of in the middle, I would say closer to the higher side.
Okay. So
Yeah.
basically the sweeter,
The sweeter the fruit.
because a lot of those berries, blueberries, blackberries,
They're not that
raspberries,
sweet.
they're not that sweet.
Yes, but they're the best for you. And again, for us, a lot of us have sluggish livers. So the harder our liver is working, the worse and worse our blood sugar gets over the years.
Sluggish livers,
Sluggish livers. Too many toxins going in.
slow to get them out.
Correct.
Okay. And
Again,
the more
why?
sugar we
Because
pump
we're
it,
not,
we don't have our drainage pathways open.
and we're not,
Eating real sugar,
we're pooping and sweating.
pooping and sweating.
Yes, that's how we get our toxins out. You
We're
poop
going to
'em,
learn
you
more
sweat
about
'em.
that in future episodes,
Yes.
which is why I was not quite prepared for that question.
She has lots of questions today, though, so she's doing great.
Yes, and we have lots more on sugar when we come back on Vegucation.